family, and welcome to another edition of Indy Meets Disney. We are so glad you are here today with us. We got another theme park we're going to be talking about today.
Ooh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be?
Well, today we are going to be talking about Epcot. So we are going to be telling you today what we love about Epcot.
I'm excited for that. It is one of my favorites.
It is a great one. So, kind of like our other ones, we're going to be comparing back and forth some notes. So we'll be talking about what I love, what Katie loves, and seeing what we have in common and what we don't have in common.
There could be some differences with this one.
So let's get started. So, as far as favorite rides, my favorite ride would be Journey into Imagination with Figment, as you can see here on my shirt. Why do I love Journey into Imagination? This ride kind of is a split ride. Some people either love this ride or they hate this ride. It's kind of hard to find people that are in between. So this ride, the reason that I love it is mostly because of Figment. He's a great little character. He's kind of the representation of Epcot. When you think of Epcot, you think of Figment. He's on all their like different products that they put out, t-shirts, cups, pens, hats. You'll find Figment. He is the epitome of Epcot. When you see Figment, you know Epcot. And all throughout this ride, it's all about Figment. So it's got a catchy tune. One little spark is all it takes. And it's Epcot or Figment that's singing that all through the ride. And it talks about all your different senses and how your senses work. But the theme of it is that it's not just about your senses, it's about using your imagination and how you can think of all different things and how your imagination helps you to just explore new things and to step out.
And that sense of smell, that part of the ride, I still get that stuck in my nose sometimes. And if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's right. And the finale of that ride is amazing. I'm not going to share with you what happens, but it'll definitely catch you off guard.
Absolutely. And then my favorite ride is a classic. It's Spaceship Earth. So when you think of Epcot, you think of the big like ball, the big silver ball, and that would be Spaceship Earth. So if you walk in the front entrance of Epcot, you'll come right across Spaceship Earth. And it's just kind of, it's nostalgic. When we talk Disney, a lot of times we talk about the things that are nostalgic for us, and that would definitely be it. Okay. Growing up, riding a Spaceship Earth with my family, I think to that often. So it's a very slow moving ride, and that's okay. It takes you out of the sun for a while, and it's nice and, well, it's not really always nice and cool inside, honestly, but it kind of walks you through history. And it walks you through the history of civilizations all the way from caveman days to the ancient early civilizations of like Rome and Greece and things like that. And walks you through like how people communicate and how that's changed from the very beginning and writing on cave walls to now using computers and things like that. So it walks you through all of that. There's some very distinct parts that kind of stick out in my mind from that ride. And then so it will take you all the way up into the top of the ball, and then it'll slowly bring you back down, but backwards. And while you do that, it's kind of an interactive thing where you choose your own future. So that's kind of a unique part of the ride as well. So,
right. And since it focuses on future, that ride is constantly changing, and it's about to go through refurbishment, or Disney has told us it's about to go through refurbishment. If it does, we're not for sure or not, but it's always constantly changing the way that ride is portrayed.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go on to the next part. Your favorite quick service.
Quick service is the Yorkshire Country Fish Market, or Fish Shop.
Yorkshire County Fish Shop.
Yorkshire County Fish Shop. So they have the best fish. So think Long John Silver's, but way better, 10 times better.
Don't think Long John Silver's. Don't.
As far as like the style of fish, that's about the only place they compare.
Very well battered. Battered.
So you get one gigantic large piece of fish. So it's fish and chips. So one gigantic large piece of fish, probably about that big. It's a big piece of fish.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of fries that come with it. But we have split a piece of fish between the two of us. But it is some great fried fish. If you're a fan of fried fish,
Yeah.
I definitely recommend that you go there and try it out.
Yeah, it's yummy. And then my favorite quick service, and I am not a French speaker, so I will do my best. Boulangerie, Patisserie, Les Halles. I have no idea. But it's the place in France that's back towards the back. That's the place that I'm talking about. It's actually when you finish up at the sing-along with the Beauty and the Beast sing-along,
Yeah.
it will take you into like a little gift shop, and then back behind that gift shop is this France quick service that I'm talking about. And so it has the most delicious little tarts and creme brulee and desserts and breads and pastries that you can imagine, and it's very yummy. I get the same thing every time I go there, which I'll talk about that in a second, but it's really, really good French food, and really good just desserty kind of food.
Right.
So let's go ahead and talk about our favorite sit-down restaurant then at Epcot.
All right. Favorite sit-down restaurant? Mine would have to be the Garden Grill. Now, this is the character restaurant at Epcot.
Yeah.
So at this restaurant, you do get to meet Chip and Dale, which is very unique for a costume or a character restaurant.
Yeah.
Also, Farmer Mickey. So he's kind of dressed up in a different outfit, so that's cool. And then Pluto as well. So that's a neat experience. Also, what makes this restaurant really cool is the restaurant spins. So within an hour's time, it gets at one complete rotation. And it goes through a ride called Living with the Land. So you get half of your experience in this ride, Living with the Land. And also this ride, it's focused on fresh food. So Living with the Land, if you don't know what that is it talks about the way that food is harvested and all these unique ways that they're talking about in the future, harvesting food and growing food. And you go through and you see all these unique ways that they're doing that, that they're coming up with to grow food and through technology. But that food that you see that they're producing, they take that food and actually use it in the restaurant. Yeah. So it's really fresh foods that's coming straight from that restaurant. And it's great food. We really enjoy it every time we go there.
We've only been there at breakfast time, I believe,
Right.
and we love their breakfast. So they have cinnamon roll that is to die for. And normally, like, we split things down the middle, but he gets so full by the point the cinnamon roll, like, starts to get eaten that I get to eat most of it myself, and I'm very grateful for that. But it's delicious.
Yeah, it's family style, so
Yes.
it's all you can eat. So you pay one price and all you can eat food. It's great, though. I highly recommend it. If you go there, eat at Garden Grill. You won't regret it.
Very, very true. And then my favorite sit down is a place that's in Morocco, in the World Showcase part of Epcot, and it's called Spice Road. We've not been there since they've kind of changed hands. So Morocco got taken over by Disney. It used to be owned by a company in Morocco. Am I saying that right? And their food was delicious. And I always got a vegetarian platter, and I'm not vegetarian, but I loved their different dips and their hummus fries, and there was like eggplant little bites and different things, and it was delicious. So like I said, I've not been there since they've changed ownership, but I've heard now they have small plates and different things like that available at Spice Road. And another really cool thing that we love about Spice Road is we always try to get a reservation there right before the fireworks, the nighttime show, which we'll talk about that later, right around the time that will begin. So we try to be wrapping up our food by the time that starts, and so then we can just sit and be able to watch over the water. There's a big lagoon in the middle of Epcot, so right in the middle of the World Showcase. So that's a pro tip if you're thinking about doing that.
All right.
And then, favorite snack, Mr. Cedric?
Okay, favorite snacks. So my main snack that I chose was creme brulee. Love a good creme brulee. If it's an option at any restaurant, that's usually what I go with is creme brulee. So creme brulee, at France is where you would find this normally at the same quick service that Katie mentioned
What's
earlier.
the name of that place,
I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but the restaurant that Katie announced earlier for her quick service, that's where you're going to find the creme brulee. It's great creme brulee. Since it's the France Pavilion, obviously they're going to have great creme brulee.
Right.
So I recommend, if you are a fan of creme brulee, go there, give it a try. You won't regret it.
Yeah. And then what about your runner-up?
Oh yeah, runner-up is the poutine. So that comes from the Canadian booth. What is poutine? So we weren't sure either until we found out, and we tried it and we loved it. So it is French fries with gravy and cheese curds. And it is amazing. You would think that sounds disgusting, but it is amazing. And it changes up all the time. They had a lobster poutine. They have like the Thanksgiving one that had like stuffing and gravy and stuff on it. And they've changed it up all the time. But it's pretty much anything on top of fries. It becomes poutine.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and then as far as my favorite snacks go, I mentioned that France Pavilion is one of my favorites, and they have an amazing strawberry tart that has like this creaminess on the bottom and these very fresh strawberries on the top, and like a little crust, and it is delicious. And I try to get that every time we go to Epcot. And like we've talked about in some of our other videos, we typically have a running list of anything that looks good from Epcot that maybe we see on Instagram or see it on Facebook or anywhere else on YouTube, and we write them down, make a running list of all the ones that we need to try. So I definitely recommend that creme brulee, the poutine, the strawberry tart, and putting that on your list of places you might want to try at Epcot as well. And then my runner-up would be the poutine as well. So we just had discovered it recently. We didn't think it sounded very good, and it doesn't sound very good, but it's delicious. The cheese curds especially is what got us. So make sure if you get a poutine, make sure you're getting the cheese curds on it.
And they say cheese curds are best when they have a good squeak, and they have a good squeak.
Okay, good to know. And then let's go ahead and find out why do you love Epcot so much?
So why do I love Epcot? That's a good question.
Tell us.
So first off, the World Showcase. So what World Showcase is basically the area where all the different countries are found. Yeah. So it's just such a unique experience. It almost feels like you're going to that country because they just have they'll have like different foods from that land. They'll have different like artifacts or different buildings that represent that land. They might have a movie that you can preview that will show you like highlights of that land.
Gift shops and souvenirs.
Gift shop souvenirs, yeah. Pre-COVID, and I'm sure it will change here as things change. Like all of the cast members that work in that area will be from that country. So it just makes it really realistic and puts you like you're in that land.
Yep, that's good.
Or in that country. Live performances. So Epcot is really unique, and they have some really cool live performances they put on. They usually, like around, I think it's Flower and Garden time, they will bring in a lot of bands to perform. Now this year, COVID and stuff like that, obviously those aren't happening, but they'll usually bring in a lot of big name bands. Like we saw Boys to Men there one time. But they'll just bring in all kinds of big names to their shows. Like at Christmas time, they bring in all kinds of famous actors to do their
candlelight
procession. Yeah, we got to see Doogie Howser read. I can't think of his real name.
What's it, him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we got to see him read for the candlelight processional.
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Or
was it Michael W. Smith? It was one of those.
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just really cool. The different actors you see come in, the different artists you see come in. And that's where they do it as Epcot. So if you like live performances, that's where you see those is at Epcot. And the nighttime show, Epcot puts on one of the best nighttime shows, and it's cool because there's a big like pondish area or lagoon in the middle of the World Showcase, and that's where the nighttime show happens. And you can stand anywhere inside the World Showcase and you can see the nighttime show happen. So you don't have to like crowd into a big group like you would at Magic Kingdom, where you had to crowd into a large group and watch the castle. This one you can stand anywhere around the outside and see the show. So that's nice. And
they're starting to have a new one that they're getting ready for. We don't know when that's going to start.
No, they've said within 2021 it's supposed to start. So that's cool. Harmonious is the name of it. And they've already started bringing the pieces for it out into the water. It's some really large pieces, and it's supposed to, during the day, work as fountains that spray out through the water, and then at night it'll be the projections and the fireworks.
Yep, so good combination of lots of good nighttime stuff.
And then festivals. Epcot is the place for the festivals at Disney, so they have 4 different festivals that take place. We'll go into those here in a minute. Yeah. But they're just great, different food, different experience that happen at each one, very unique. So the festivals are great.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as the reasons why I love Epcot, the festivals are definitely my number one reason. We've talked before in our other shows that we are Disney foodies, and so we have a running list of all the different places we want to try during the festivals to eat. And they have lots of different booths from each of the different countries, and we like to try and have an entire day planned around just the food we want to eat at the festivals. The food, oh, so much food. There really is so much food, especially in the World Showcase that we adore. It's also a part of the Skyliner, so there's a back entrance to Epcot that's along like where the boardwalk resorts are, and you're able to travel there by Skyliner. So if you stay at places like Pop Century or the Riviera or the Caribbean or Art of Animation, places like that, they're along the Skyliner, so it's easy access.
And you said like there's a walkway from Boardwalk,
Yes.
Yacht Club, and Beach Club. And even the Dolphin and Swan,
Yes.
There's a little walkway there. You can walk right into Epcot through that back entrance.
I've forgotten about that, yep. So we've been able to do that as well when we've stayed in places like that. And the World Showcase is just a place like no other, where you just get immersed in culture. And then we talked about those festivals. There are 4 festivals. The Festival of the Arts. Do you want to talk about each one as we go through?
Why don't you show them first and we can talk about it?
There's the Flower and Garden Festival, the Food and Wine Festival, and the Festival of the Holidays.
Okay. So Festival of the Arts, what that one is they will bring in different artists, and those artists will present their work. Some of the artists will actually be there, and they will be able to sign their work. They'll talk about their work, show off their work. So you can go all around like World Showcase through Future World and see their those different designs, see those different artworks. They have usually like a little canopy set up with all the different artwork hanging up. Also, there's usually the food is kind of artsy, so they'll have like deconstructed food and it'll be kind of broken down along the plate, or they'll have like this year they had like a grilled cheese and soup, and it was a kind of a little artsy can that the soup came in. So it's kind of like artsy, kind of upscale looking little food that comes out during that time.
You can buy the artwork there, but then they also have lots of interactive experiences too. So this year they had specially drawn paintings that were on walls walking around Epcot, and so people could get interactive pictures taken with Figment's wings behind them and Figment's horns, things like that. They also had a paint by number thing that was available for guests to be able to be a part of. And then lots of the sidewalk chalk drawings were really neat too. And then the Flower and Garden is currently going on. That happens in the spring months, and it's mind-blowing. It is basically celebrating all things flowers and gardens, and they have topiaries in the shape of so many Disney characters. So anything from Beauty and the Beast to Kermit and the Frog and Kermit the Frog and anything in between. And they make them all out of flowers and their topiaries and plants, and it's beautiful. So.
Right. And they usually bring in a butterfly house that you can walk through, where the actual butterflies start from the cocoon stage, and then they'll go all the way through chrysalis. There you go.
I'm a first grade teacher. Yeah.
And then they'll have all different kinds of unique foods for that festival, which that happens through all the different festivals. It's not the same food. It's always different types of food at each of the different festivals. So like Arts Festival, you're not going to get the same food that you'll get at Flower and Garden. It always is changing.
Which makes it fun to go to Epcot and see the new food. Then the International Food and Wine Festival is just a celebration of all good things to eat and drink. So, I don't think there's much more to say beyond that. So, and the Festival Holidays is amazing. So it starts around November, I would say, and lasts through the holidays, usually the end of December, beginning of January. And it is incredible the way that they celebrate how different countries celebrate the holidays. So whether it be how they celebrate Christmas or celebrate Hanukkah, or whatever holiday they might celebrate in their country. And they typically will have actors and actresses dressing up in costume and presenting a little presentation for the people that gather around and what that country's celebrations and their culture is like. And it's very educational, but at the same time, it's very informative and entertaining.
Right. So it's usually like our Santa Claus, they'll talk like in their country, their person that would be their representation of Santa Claus. So like Father Noel in one country, or Italy has
Yeah.
a lady that's
La Befana, I believe her name is.
Okay, yeah. So each country will have some sort of different representation like that they'll present, and then the candlelight processional that we talked about, where they have different choirs come in and they march in with candles, and they'll tell us the story of the birth of Jesus. And they have singing, and they, like I said, they usually bring in some sort of actor that will read through the story of the birth. It's just amazing.
It's a must-do. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And that's something, as far as that goes, it's a special ticketed, that doesn't cost extra, does it?
For which part?
For the candlelight processional.
No, it's still first come, first served, but they had, like, you could buy a package
to make sure
you got a space.
That's what it was. Okay. And then...
Okay, so we put up here a map, just if you've never seen the land, just kind of give you an idea what the land looks like, because Epcot is gigantic. So we just wanted to kind of show you.
It's broken into 2 parts.
2 parts, yeah. So they have Future World, as it says up here, and Future World is where you're going to find most of the rides is in Future World. So this kind of looks like where Future World is right now, because it's going through a lot of changes.
Yes.
So we have Test Track, yeah. So this is like you ride on a car, and it's going to show you different ways that a car could handle, like in rain and in snow, and then you go out and ride like 60 miles an hour out and around the track. Then you have Mission Space, what it's like to travel through space. It gives you like a real experience. This is going to be called the Play Pavilion, so it's like puts you in a virtual reality world. This is where Guardians of the Galaxy Rewind is going to be, a new coaster that's coming. Here's Spaceship Earth that Katie was talking about earlier. Down here is the seas with Nemo. So that's a really fun one. Over here is Living with the Land I was talking about earlier, where it takes you through, shows you the advantage, the way agriculture is changing. Also in there is Soarin'. So that's a really popular ride as well. It takes you through, like you're flying and going through different lands. And also up here is Journey to Imagination, the one I was talking about with Figment. And then right through this area is going to the new Moana ride. Our water land is going to be. It's right through here.
It's going to be exciting. There's lots of changes coming up. And then the other half of Epcot is the World Showcase that we spent a lot of our time talking about. And honestly, that's usually where we spend most of our times when we go to Epcot, because we enjoy all of the different countries. So we usually start, depending where we come in. A lot of times we come in through the International Gateway, but we'll hit Canada, the United Kingdom, France, Morocco, Japan, the American Adventure, Italy, Germany, China, Norway, and Mexico. And there aren't a ton of rides on this side. The biggest one would be in Norway. They recently put in the Frozen ride, where the Viking ride used to be. So
actually, the big one right now is Remy's Ratatouille is getting ready to come in.
That's true, but it's not here yet.
Yeah, and it's going to come in the France Pavilion, but it's supposed to open October 1st of this year.
2021, yep.
So that's the big one coming right now.
Yeah.
And then the cavalcades, we talked about those. They're the mini parades that are happening right now during COVID. They happen around the World Showcase, and they usually travel counterclockwise. So if you want to try and catch one of those, we suggest that you walk counterclockwise. You walk clockwise so that you catch them. They go counterclockwise. No, they go clockwise. We suggest you go counterclockwise.
Yes. Yep. You go this way, they go that way.
And then here is the lagoon we were talking about. That's where Harmonious will happen with the fireworks. And you can stand anywhere around here and you can see the fireworks show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that does it for our talk about Epcot today. So we thank you so much for joining us. And we hope that you guys will like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, Indy Meets Disney. If you have any comments to make or any questions for us or things you'd like to see us do, go ahead and take care of that down below. And also hit that bell to get any notifications. So we appreciate you watching this video, and we will
see you real soon.